Yeah.
So Scott, welcome to this very short interview with me. I'll try not to steal the show. I'll give you the floor. Um, you talk about something that I'm quite passionate about, actually, as you know, because whenever I speak to clients about onboarding them and trying to get access to things, their access to their data is often quite poor, and this spans from startups to SMEs to really really large companies, and having your access to your data and all of those communications at your fingertips is obviously what you do with a CRM. So I want you to like champion the CRM in this reply, because like adoption to CRM is still pretty poor, isn't it, in the business world? So why is it poor, and why should people just get a CRM?
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest battle and the biggest challenge that people have. So I think a lot of it, there's probably two elements I would say. There's a setup and a, let's say, technical element, and then there's more of a mindset piece. So there's a massive perception that CRMs are just tools for managers and leaders to watch what salespeople are doing. And I'm a salesperson. I want to spend all my time talking to customers, making sales, trying to hit my number. And every time I have to go into the CRM and fill it in and update it, that's just taking time out of my day. Which, yeah, I can kind of see the argument. I think that that problem and that mindset is really compounded where you have a CRM and the way it's set up doesn't follow the way the business works. Um, so all the CRM companies, they do an amazing job of like selling people on how fantastic their CRM is. They show all these amazing fancy demos, but often when you buy a CRM, it's pretty generic, and most businesses are unique and they've got different ways of doing things. You just look across like different companies I work with, the different companies you work with. I bet there's no two companies that are the same, but when they buy a CRM, they get the same setup.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's fair. And I think to push back on that slightly, I think sometimes that's a good thing, because these CRM companies kind of know sales, they know contacts, they know communication. So sometimes you sort of think, well, my business doesn't work like this, but this amazing CRM sort of talks about a pipeline that's weighted, and it talks about, tasks assigned to contacts, and maybe there's some logic in that. So do you think there's some element of a business needs to change slightly to adopt a CRM to be maybe just more organized and better in the first place?
yeah, no, yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that there's a lot of a lot of structure that can be a shock to people when they come from
Yeah.
disorganized chaos into working in the CRM. So yes, sometimes it can feel like you're being constrained. Um, but I think it comes down to like the right data that you want to capture, because ultimately CRM really is two things. It's a database and it's a process management tool. And it's how do I take someone I've never met with before, or my first interaction, through to being a raving fan. Um, and the way that you do that is having a consistent process, and you've got the right data available to make the right decisions, um, and have the right conversations. So, whilst the let's say the overall setup is probably fine out of the box, there's more of like the nuances and the way things hang together that aren't always right for businesses. And I would kind of frame it in with salespeople in like friction points. So if I'm going through my day and doing my day-to-day activities, if CRM starts to bring friction in, so I need to go in, I need to update, I need to do certain jobs, and it's taking me more clicks than it should, that causes friction. And every time I have to do that, it's like a compounding effect. And what
Yeah.
happens is you don't do it, you get to the end of the week, and then you spend the last hour of your day on Friday trying to manically get everything in. And as a result, it's probably not going to be very accurate, um, which really defeats the whole purpose of it. Because if you've got crap data,
Yeah.
is it maybe better to have no data than crap
Yeah.
data sometimes?
Yeah.
Um,
I agree. I mean, we definitely manipulated and it changed made our own when we adopted our CRM, because you're right, out of the box, it was right. It was good enough, but to fit really how we work in business, then it needs to adapt. We actually adapted our sales pipeline to our sales process that we'd already been on a course and trained on and was working really, really well in the business. So we
Yeah.
just adapted the process to it. With the kind of personalization of it and the world that we're in now, people often think, well, I'll just vibe code my own CRM. Are you seeing a lot of that? People just go, I just make my own CRM. I don't need to go for this massive global company anymore. I'll just do some prompts on base 44 and I'm there. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's tempting, right?
Yeah, tempting to vibe code everything. Yeah.
Um, so I think like there's so many people trying to do it out there, and there's horror stories, definitely for sure. But I would say so. I've been in like the software development and CRM space for basically my whole career, and the big thing that people say is, oh, I don't want Salesforce, I don't want HubSpot. It's too much. I'm paying for all these features that I'm not going to use. But I think what you need to take into account is you're not just paying for the features, you're paying for the security, the hosting, the ongoing maintenance, the R&D, continually evolving it. And actually, the features are probably the easiest piece, but it's the piece that's most obvious and most accessible to people. My real worry with vibe coding is we're just going to be happy hour for all the cyber criminals. Because if you go and you vibe code an application, and not to say vibe coding isn't a good thing, I think it's amazing for proof of concepts, and I think it's amazing for people who are developers and know what they're doing. But if you go and vibe code an app with very little experience, there's a lot of hidden dangers that people just don't know about, like cybersecurity probably being the biggest one.
Yeah.
You could leave a back door into your application, which has got all
Yeah.
of your customer data in
But
it.
very easy to, isn't it? Because you think about vibe coding, like if people don't know what vibe coding is, it's basically using like think chat GPT and you're just prompting and you're saying, I want to build this thing, and then you go backwards and forwards to it and it builds it. But what it's essentially doing is like chat GPT is going out there and finding sources of things. So chat GPT will find content, vibe coding will find code and it will build things, but it doesn't mean it's secure. And it doesn't mean when you put all these things together that there's no like backdoor entries,
Yeah.
gaps, or people on the dark web going, well, this is the most common language used in vibe coding. This is the most common plugin used for e-commerce. And it'll take them seconds to work that out and it straight in. Uh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Oh
you're
yeah,
then going to put all
100%.
of your details in it. And it's like, yeah,
100%. I think it's like the perception with people getting hacked is, oh, they're only going to target big companies, and that's who they go after. But that's not really the case. Like, unfortunately, if you go on the internet, there's a website that tracks every single known vulnerability in every single software library out there. So there's a very good chance if you write an application today and you don't touch it for 5 years, in 5 years' time, there's going to be a long old list of
yeah.
vulnerabilities published somewhere, and a hacker can very easily just scan for websites that are using those technologies. They've got a list of all the vulnerabilities and they're in.
Mhm. And they could vibe code a hack.
Yeah.
They could use your weapon on you. And I think it's a really important point you bring up there about we had a cybersecurity client for a long time, and they always said, people just assume it's the big companies. It's actually not the big companies, it's the small ones, because small companies are very lax with their security and they don't have departments for cybersecurity and they don't go on courses for cybersecurity, and they're just like, it will never happen to me. And if you're a local florist and you're just taking loads of card payments, you've got a website, it won't happen to me. But you're useful to the hacker because they can just easily get in multiple.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to, a lot of people's logic is probably, well, why would a hacker spend an hour getting into this website when they could spend an hour getting in there and get gazillions of pounds versus 1,000 quid? Well, it's not that hard for them to do en masse. That's the thing. And also, you've
Yeah.
got the supply chain, haven't you? If I can hack into your CRM, well, what data have I got? And then I
Yeah.
could potentially email from your CRM. and
Yeah.
spoof people. And yeah, it opens the door, doesn't it, really? So
Oh yeah,
um, obviously, we're talking natively about AI, and we shouldn't do that because our AI overlords will come and crush us into a pulp. What's the positivity of AI then? What are you seeing some positive movements with AI adoption inside CRMs? Properly done by Salesforce, that kind of.
yeah. I think it's definitely moving in the right direction. I would say it's been a little bit slow. I think like Salesforce especially have made so much hype about their Agentforce platform, and it's taken a while to get going. It is definitely moving now.
Mm.
But I'm doing some really cool projects with customers at the moment using it. Some really interesting use cases. Um,
I think it's good they're taking time. Feels like they're making it work okay. Like Apple still haven't got Siri to be AI. Like
yeah,
Siri's my first AI. Feels like it's like that first toy you got as a kid. Like I've had Siri for years, and I'm like, why are you so shit now? What happened? But I'm clinging on to it like the best friend that's like no one else likes. I'm like, she's gonna come good in the future.
yeah,
I kind of feel like Salesforce are doing the same because Zoho do the same with theirs. He's called Zero or something, and it's
Mm,
utter shit. You could just use a search box. It's better. It's like looking for an email in Outlook.
yeah,
You just can't do it. It's rubbish. So I think it's good they're taking their time. You think it will be better when it comes out eventually and safer.
yeah. And it's there. It's available. You can use it. It's like the adoption is growing, and I think that's the big thing they've gone for is trust. And I think they it's almost like a really interesting time, I think, at the moment where we had, if you look back like 5, 6 years, we had GDPR and everyone all of a sudden was like, oh my God, we can't do that, GDPR, can't do that, can't send that email, can't do that, GDPR. And then almost though we've gone like the other way and everyone's just like, yeah, chuck it all in the AI and then
Chuck it in, AI. Yeah. All these files, just chuck them
yeah,
in. It'll be fine.
yeah,
Claude wouldn't do that to us.
yeah. So yeah, I think with building a more secure AI, like they definitely bet on companies wanting trust, wanting it to be secure and their data being protected, which is a good thing.
What's a useful use for AI that you see coming down the pipeline in CRMs? Is it search? Is it speaking to your data? What's going to be a really good AI piece into the CRM?
So I think there's like a couple of use cases that have been around for a little bit. So one of the things I love doing, like you record your calls, I record my calls. I have a tool that just puts them all my call recordings into Salesforce, and then I've got all my transcriptions, so I can run AI on that, pull out information, you know, go back, refresh myself really easily. Doing a really cool project with a customer at the moment where they go and they do playground flooring and they go and do a site inspection and they take a video, they walk around the site, they talk about everything they see. And we're now taking that video, transcribing it, putting the transcript into Salesforce, and then going through and updating. So what used to take them like a few hours to go and fill in all the information about a customer, a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
minutes. Pretty cool. The other big thing that I think has really exploded in the last couple of months with kind of like Claude Cowork really leading the way is MCP. And I don't know, people may not know what MCP is, but MCP is basically the language that AI agents and AI chatbots use to connect into different systems. So seeing a lot of people connecting all their tools up to Claude. Claude's got access to all of their data. You can ask questions about it, what's in my pipeline, show me my top opportunities, put all that data in, and allow you to work almost from one place, but keep all your connected systems.
Yeah. This was kind of the dream of AI for me, is that one day we'll be able to do that. And the MCP has definitely done that for me in some areas of the business. I've got, with the help of um, Copilot, I actually built some systems that links up all sorts of different automations, some AI, some not, all with Claude. So I can just
Mm,
work on stuff, as you say, from one place. And that's the dream of it. It's kind of what I hoped, or what I hope will eventually happen with my serum. I use Zoho serum, is that there's so much in there. Like when I go to Chat GPT, I've got access to the entire internet via a chat window, and it's like
yeah,
fantastic. Why can't I have that in my own world? That's what I want eventually to happen. I think that's very powerful, then, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And that's like 100% the route that Salesforce are going. So they announced in the last couple of months this thing they're calling Headerless 360, which is basically the CEO of Salesforce basically came out and said the browser is dead. Which is a pretty
Yeah.
shocking statement from the company that basically pioneered one of the pioneers of SaaS
Mm,
and browser-based software. So
mm,
yeah, it's definitely the way the world's going and the ability to have the structure. I think that's the interesting thing with,
mm.
AI, things like Claude is you're able to create so much, but a lot of it is unstructured. You're creating Word documents, PDFs, images. Amazing when you create it, but then how do you use that again in the future?
Yeah, but
Um,
this goes into what you said before we hit record, which was like a lot of people are looking at AI, and it's like adding a spoiler to your knackered car, isn't it? It's like they're going to do shit for the corner of that car when the tires are knackered, isn't it? So
yeah,
people need to do the basics first, really, don't they, before they sort of leap into Claude automation? Because ultimately, if you've got like crap data in your CRM, Claude ain't going to be able to help you with that, is it? So what are the main issues people? What are the same old problems that come up all the time in the CRM world?
um, I mean, the biggest one, people not filling fields in.
Yeah.
And often that is what can often happen is people, you get a CRM, you're like, oh, I can capture all this information. I can put a field for that, I can put a field for that, I can put, and they get trigger happy and they put in 20 fields. And actually maybe they only need three of those,
Yeah.
but they can do it. So they put all 20 in.
Guilty.
And then you give it to a salesperson, and you're right, fill in the CRM. They're like, oh, I've got to fill in 20 fields. It's
Mandatory,
going to
all of them
take
as
me.
well. All of them have got a star on. You can't do
Yeah,
any.
yeah,
Can't
yeah,
do
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
27 fields.
Yeah. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, either they're just going to put AAA, BBB, CCC, whatever. Um,
Yeah, it's
I've-
so true. So like that's one issue. What else? What other things do you see people do? What other problems do people do with the serum? Something I see, and I think it's true for most, is that yeah, they have one, they put the information in, but then they don't really do anything with that information. It's a storage facility that's never used, like an old filing cabinet.
yeah, it's a thing for sure. And it's not using automations really, and not even automations. Sometimes one of the like most powerful and but simplest things you can do is run scheduled reports. Um, so I've had it with like people, I've set this up for them in Salesforce where every Monday at 8 a.m. they get an email or of all of the opportunities that are forecast to close this week, or on the first day of the month, they get an email of all of their opportunities that they'd said they were going to close last month, but they're still sat in like the first stage in the pipeline.
Yeah.
It's just there's like a lot of really simple things you can put in place that
Mm.
make your life so much easier.
I've
But they're
noticed.
not the sexy features, so they're not
No, that
talked
yeah,
about, and
yeah.
so people just don't know about them.
Yeah. It's like, it's like small businesses, like we were saying before, don't get hacked, big ones do. It's only because the small businesses being that's not news. No one gives a crap if a florist has been hacked, whereas HSBC or the NHS, bless them, years ago, that's
Yeah,
the story. Something I see sometimes in my team is my team asking themselves things on Slack when I'm like, you could have just checked the CRM because it's actually been documented in the CRM. We're actually pretty good with documenting the CRM. I've still not quite fully automated my Otter notes
mm,
into my CRM, but it's pretty damn close now. But sometimes it's like, oh, it's just easier to ask someone else, which it is. It is easier to ask someone else. It's quicker. Humans are quicker than typing and AI and
yeah,
everything else. However, the downtime is a concern for me. So do you see
yeah.
that where people either don't have the data in the CRM or they forget to look at it in the first place?
Yeah, it can become a dumping ground, but that's I think where MCP and what we were talking about before with learning to collect Claude is going to really change it.
Yeah, of course.
Slack, they're putting in a lot of AI in Slack. If you use
Mm,
Slack and you use Salesforce, you can get all your Salesforce information in Slack. So I think that's the trend we're going to see is
yeah.
being able to get more and more information on demand, um,
Mm,
which hopefully will get rid of the
I
problem of
think it will
people just
start
dumping it
because
in there.
like it reminds me of the world where we're in with content and SEO, and I've been saying for a good few years now that Googling is hard work compared to chat GPTing or Geminiing, and
Yeah,
eventually Googling will not be a thing. To Google something won't be a thing. It'll just be talking to AI.
yeah,
And the kind of warning I'm trying to give to people is, look, you really need to think about how you're found on AI because this is so much easier than Googling. It will be adopted far more. So in the CRM world, yeah, it's a bit. Oh no, I forgot to check the CRM. Eventually, it's going to be like I've just got this little tool on my computer, and I just ask it everything, and it knows everything because someone has
yeah,
linked it to the CRM, to my emails, and to my calendar, and blah 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 blah. And I just go, what we're doing next? I'm speaking to Scott. Shit, what am I speaking to Scott? And I'm bang, 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 bang. Oh, you're
yeah,
supposed to be interviewing him on Facebook. I can
yeah.
check Facebook's live. No, Facebook is now currently down as we record this. I don't know. It wouldn't be able to help with that. Maybe it's AI that's broken it. Who
Maybe you
knows?
can
Let's put
reboot
that
the
out
server.
there. I mean, actually, in fairness, the last time it was either Facebook or X, or maybe someone else was down, it was because of AI. It
Was it?
updated something that it shouldn't have updated and it pulled it offline for a good few hours and they had to go back and reverse it. So moves on to my next question, really. Like you've talked about MCP and what are the pros and cons here? Like, is there a danger that Claude gets a bit trigger happy and updates a few records and files, loses you some sales? Like, what's let's fear people into not using it. Let's do that.
Yeah, you have to be careful, right? So the advice I had a conversation with someone I know who specializes in cybersecurity, and we were talking about this about, I've got an agent that can do this, an agent that can read my emails, an agent that can read my calendar, an agent that can do whatever, but you try and keep them separate. So you might have an agent that can read your emails, but you don't give the agent also the ability to send an email because as soon as you give it the ability to read and send, and people like some people may be happy to do this, other people may not be, you actually can things can start happening without you being in the loop and without
Mhm.
you ever controlling what happens. And all of a sudden, the AI has sent a pretty rude email to one of your
Yeah.
customers.
Or, which is what we have now, and I'm utterly amazed in the world of AI that phishing emails are still shit. But that they're
Yeah,
still poor, they're still rubbish.
yeah,
They still call me Graham. No one calls me Graham. Everyone calls me Todd. And I'm like, it would take a second with AI to do a good phishing email. But I guess the threat you're talking about there is if an agent's got in and out on your inbox, if someone gets access to the agent, then they can in and out in your inbox and scam the crap out of people by saying, hey, send us. I often get emails to myself saying, hey, can we pay this invoice quickly? And I'm like, this isn't a massive company. I know that we haven't engaged with that company. I know that I
yeah,
don't need to send them 1,200 quid. And also, you've emailed the wrong person. So,
yeah.
but that's a real danger, isn't it? If someone gets in there, they can not. It's not just that they have to go in and read your emails. They could just use their agent and go,
They
well,
can even just email you, transfer 10 grand to this bank account.
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
it must be true.
It must be
Because
true, yeah.
that's then, yeah, it bypasses all of the security stuff. So there's a real threat there.
Yeah.
A real threat.
Yeah. I think it's just and I've been playing a lot with AI, and I think the danger, and I've definitely fallen into this trap, and it's so easy to do, is to not think because you work with it so quick. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, it's done all this. Oh, do I really have to review it? Like, do I have
Mm,
to sit here for 10 minutes and actually go through everything it's created? And
yeah,
yeah, you do.
yeah, you do. I mean, we use it for almost every area of the business now, just in the kind of manual admin side of stuff. But it makes mistakes. It does the wrong things. It chased my assistant recently to tell her to do something that she hadn't done, and she had done it.
Yeah.
She because it said sent by Claude, she went back and
Mm,
said, "Hold on, I think she's working, but well, I've done this twice now."
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I hadn't really considered that. Is it's so easy to do it? It removes all of that stress of doing it, so you almost then don't want to put the energy into actually checking whether it's going to work.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, it sounds about right. Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. That'll do.
But
Yeah.
I did hear an interesting, I don't know if it was a stat or a fact, but Someone like podcaster in the AI space was saying that burnout rates are going up since AI has become a thing. And the reason is because we're able to automate so much of the like mundane tasks, which then gives us more time for the real deep, thought-provoking work that so actually we're almost working. Yeah, it's like the whole idea of AI is it's going to save you time, but actually all this means is we're working harder and doing more
Hmm.
rather than actually doing less.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the work that we're doing more of is the harder work that takes
Mhm.
more of your brain capacity. So actually,
Yeah,
it's like a compounding effect of you're
yeah.
both working more and you're working more on harder things.
I was saying this about technology to someone recently. Like technology was supposed to come here and save us time, and actually we spend so much time on technology, it's taken our time away. But then I sort of went back to them and said, but a lot of people use technology really badly. They don't use it efficiently, and they're doing things that like the amount of times I see someone like unlock their iPhone to take a photo, and I'm like, that's a small insight into how they use the rest of their technology.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that's how you take a photo on your phone, how do you send emails? How do you check this? How do you find folders? And then they don't store things properly. So back to the CRM world, like the organization of it needs to be good from the beginning, isn't it? Otherwise, it just becomes a behemoth thing to drag around that really doesn't serve its purpose then, does it? So it's the basics, isn't it? Ultimately, if you haven't got those right, then you're just gonna put mess on top of mess, surely.
Yeah, the mess on top of mess, that like that compounding impact is definitely what what happens with a lot of people. Because you start out, let's say you're a small business, you start out pretty simple process, then it changes, so you add a bit on, changes again, you add a bit on, and then you kind of add a bit and you add a bit and you add a bit. And unfortunately, yeah, after a couple of years, you've got an absolute mess.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and it's a challenge because it's really hard to look forward. Um,
yeah.
but I guess that's where someone like me would come in, having that almost like more future sight of, okay, well, this is the way, setting it up this way means you've got the flexibility, you can grow, you can change.
Yeah.
Um, and it's an interesting kind of dynamic in the CRM world of you have, and I suppose this is probably more in like some of the slightly larger businesses. You have your sales team who are like, go quick, go quick, go do this. And then you've got your IT team.
Mhm.
And your IT team are a bit more slow, measured. They want to do things the right way. They want it to be structured correctly. And it's a massive conflict if you've got people who just want it now and just want it quick versus the people that want to take the time, architect it correctly.
Yeah,
And it's
totally agree.
I think that that is one of the biggest challenges that companies face, and one of the reasons why they often have challenges is they're just it's two different worlds fighting over one piece of software.
Yeah, well, they've both got the right reasons to fight over it as well, I guess. So
Yeah,
if a company out there's got a mess on mess, scrambled up CRM, the good intentions. It came out of the box all clean and beautiful that one day with no contacts, just their own email address, and it was a
yeah,
wonderful day. And then all of a sudden, it's just compounded. It's got 27 fields in it. It's a mess. Someone's put AI into it. They don't know where they are with it. Can you help them? What do you do when they come to you say, Scott, we've got an amazing CRM. It's full of data from the last 20 years, but we don't use it. Like what do you do in that situation?
yeah. It definitely that's kind of my favorite thing to do, to be
Is it?
honest.
You're such a
Yeah.
weirdo.
Um, so the first thing is understanding. And I've got like a couple of different like workshops that I run with people, and generally there's two groups that I would work with. You've got like your leaders, so that is trying to find out what's their high level strategy, where are they wanting to get to, what are the challenges that they've got at the moment, um, and then that kind of gives me an idea of what we need to do to get them there. But my favorite one is when you sit down with the sales reps and you basically go, okay, so walk me through it. Like, And it's like sometimes for them it's like a therapy session of
Someone's listening. Yeah.
just tell me all the problems, all the challenges, where doesn't it work? And for me, that's the best way of actually sitting down and talking with the people who are actually using it day in and day out. And they will very quickly tell you all of the problems everywhere it doesn't work. Um, and then my job is basically figuring out what to do next. So I kind of see myself as someone that sits between that IT team and that sales team because I've done both in my career. So I know the sales bit, but I also know the IT bit. And so I can kind of be that common ground of, right, okay, well, these are all the problems you have. This is the technical solution that we can put in place to fix it. Um, and most of the time, it's actually really simple stuff. Um, I did this with a company a couple of months ago, but they put in, I mean, they're a big company, they're about 100 million in revenue, put in Salesforce last year and really struggling with adoption. And I went in and like it was fine. Looked at it and there's nothing wrong with it. But actually, when you sit down with the salespeople, there's no flow. The fields are kind of all over the place. Um, they end up, they're trying to make an update. They go there, they go there, they go there, they go there. And the simplest thing we did for them was we just reorganized their layout and we put everything in sections. So for each stage of their sales process had a section. So if you're in this stage, you go here. If you're in this stage, you go there. You're in this stage, you go there. And they're all like, oh my God.
Yeah. And they're more likely to do it properly then, aren't they? They're more likely to follow the process. They're more likely to
Yeah,
fill out the CRM. Your CRM becomes better, doesn't it? It's like
yeah,
an exponential improvement because it's two ways, isn't it? Your CRM feeds the humans, but the humans have got to feed back into it. And
yeah.
it's like any system. You remove the friction, which is why I think AI has done that essentially really, really well. It's removed a lot of friction,
Mm,
but it's caused problems along the way, like you were saying about the burnout and the lack
yeah,
of check-in is well, we see it all over LinkedIn all the time with people
yeah,
post, but on a bigger scale. But yeah, I think that was what really helped me when we moved from one CRM to another was just laying it out in the order we actually did it.
yeah,
And I'm going across the screen now as I do it because that's where mine goes across my screen.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Literally burned into my head, and it's there. And we even built like little checkpoints so you can't move this card until you tick these
yeah,
things. Of course, you can just tick them and pretend you've done it, but actually ticking it and lying to yourself that you haven't done it, it just makes you go back and do it properly.
yeah.
So how can people find out more about you? Where are you on the internet?
So I guess two places would be LinkedIn. Scott Reynolds, SaaS Success at LinkedIn, or my website, saassuccess.co.uk. I would spell it, but it's
A
so
lot of
many
S's.
letters and alliteration. I
There
don't
are.
know.
It's like Mississippi. There are one, two, three, four, five S's in your brand name. That's a lot. But I'm pleased to say there was a picture of you on the homepage. So kudos to you for that, my young man, and in the chat bar as well. So that is good. I'm impressed with that. I really am. So you're coming to our event on July I'm going to say the date now. I'm going to get it wrong. It's in July, Scott.
Not a
You're coming,
Friday in
right?
July, isn't
It's
it?
on a Friday. There you go. It's probably the first Friday in July. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I don't even know what we're talking about now. We're talking about because we've changed it so many times. We're talking about content getting found. Actually, there'll be an AI angle in there as well. So yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you for chatting to us. Really
No
appreciate it.
worries. It's great to see you as always. And
We
I'll
will get this. We recorded this in the past. If you're watching this now, so I'm going to put it onto Facebook and YouTube and places when the internet comes back online. Someone's vibe coded on Facebook and broken it. I'm sure that's what's happened. Right, good to see you. I'll end the
yeah.
call and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, Todd. I'll see you
Cheers, Scott.
soon.
Bye.